Hello and welcome to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. My name is Adam. I am the community manager of Franchise Hockey. With me, as always, and not pictured on your screen, is FHM producer Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
And we are back with Franchise Hockey Manager 10. Jeff, we're here exploring the game. In fact, before we get started, we should announce that we are already on a new test build because, well, we're hard at work at the game still, even though post launch.
Yep, you can see on the screen there. It's build 29 now. We got the release versions on 28. Um, so we've got a few things. This is just the first build for a hotfix that we're hoping to release sometime on Friday, just to fix the some of the initial problems that people have reported. Haven't won't be able to get to all of them, but I think we can get a fair chunk. And show you the incredibly really high tech method of show you what's what's in the what's in this fix so far. Just my notepad. We've got the one. If there's a few people reported leagues, if they put certain leagues in their imported certain leagues into their custom setup, it was crashing when they tried to continue. That turned out to be if there were certain data settings missing in leagues, it was the vast majority are okay, but there was a couple of the newer ones. The US NCDC, the Swiss third level, I think. Third level or fourth level? One of the, third level. Uh, didn't have it, and if you tried running the game after importing those, it would crash. That's fixed now. We've got a workaround in for that, and I'll get the data into. But even without that, it'll work fine now. There's a glitch with the trading needs screen setting where where it only showed uh, when you're looking for trading block players that match your needs. It wasn't filtering properly. I think it was particularly for position. If you said you only wanted goalies, it would throw in non-goalies as well. So that's fixed now. Make this work button. Yeah, that was actually, I think that was an older issue. May have happened with 9 as well, but needed to be fixed. It would include players when you ask the AI to make it work. It would give you a list of players that from your team that you could add to complete the deal. But it would also ask for players that have no trade clauses or no movement clauses that didn't include their team. So you couldn't really include them in the deal. But if it asked for that and you accepted, it would make the trade. It just wouldn't include that one player. So you essentially you were able to rip off the AI doing that. That's fixed now. The prospects tournaments in historical games that were supposed to be cut off before they're not supposed to happen before 2005. Was working at one point in the beta. I know that, but then it seemed to for some reason, I guess in the last few builds, we broke that somehow, and it was doing that for all seasons. So that's fixed now. It won't do that anymore. Uh, that's just a UI glitch. It was a few buttons that were cut off in the edit screen. Yeah, this one was not good. When you imported leagues, the Polish league, I think some of the Finnish leagues, mainly European leagues, it's not possible to edit those in standard games because they've got hard-coded rules in them. But if you imported the leagues into a custom game, it should have been letting you edit them because the hard-coded stuff all goes away and you set up your own rules for them. But for some reason, it was still carrying over the block that prevented them from being edited. That'll be gone now, so you can edit those leagues normally when you import them. Yeah, when the hotkeys got broken somehow, I don't know how that happened, but it's fixed. First prospects tournament in the game had been and prob oh no, it'll be fixed in this version. You may see it in a couple of the saves I show now. It
Okay,
was
Jeff, just a question from the chat here.
Yeah.
Um, Somebody says, "Will your saves, or sorry, will saves get these fixes in them, or do you have to start new games?"
Let's see I can go through one at a time. The crash save, no, you'll have to start a new game, but you wouldn't been able to get anywhere with that save to begin with, so it doesn't really make a difference. Trade needs screen, yeah, that'll happen to work with older saves. Make this work, that will work with older saves. 2004 restriction, I think that will work with older saves. I have to test it to be sure, though. Probably, though. That will work with older saves. The league editing, I don't think that will work with an existing save. I think you may have to restart the game if you're in that situation. Hotkey will work. The first prospects tournament in the game was not setting the player roles correctly. Everybody was coming in with the default screener role. That's fixed now, but if you're in a save already and you've gone past the prospects tournament, it's immaterial. It will be working properly at this point anyhow. And the tactics screen, it was showing some players, it was mismatching, like the 5-on-3 and the 4-on-3 tactical settings use the same options. But if you looked at the tactical setting in one of them and then switched to the other, sometimes it would show some players as being bad fits on one when they weren't as the other. We fixed that. And that'll apply to older saves as well. And I've also fixed a few data things. There was somebody on the Penguins had a extra 0 in their cap, had a minor leaguer. That's I can't remember who it was. You remember who that was, Adam? I think you're the one first one that told me about it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
whoever it was, it's fixed now. It'll be fixed in the update. I made a few other data fixes, not as many as I would have liked.
Colin White.
Colin White. There we go. Because there's sort of a couple of time frame things when we do an update this quick that I have to get the data in advance. So I had to do that this afternoon, and would have liked to have done more, but we'll get that in the first update. So anyhow,
Yeah,
that's
we
that.
we and I let me rephrase this. Jeff is answering as many things as he possibly can, but he does also have to sleep and eat occasionally.
No, I slept this afternoon.
Yeah, he's not a robot, at least last I checked.
Yeah, and then the plan after that, once that update is, we'll get the hotfix out ideally on Friday, unless something really bad comes up that we've got to delay it into the weekend, or well, if we get at that point, if we have to delay it, it'll probably go to Monday, but hopefully not. Then probably looking at the first real update, full update, as opposed to a hotfix, about 2 weeks after that. Give us a couple of weeks to to work on the data and fix some of the bigger problems that we couldn't fix quickly. Don't think we'll be adding new features at that point, but we will do. It's basically going to be a very similar schedule to last year, where we did the update after a couple of weeks, and then we did one. When was it? About a week before Christmas, 2 weeks.
Yeah, a couple weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, because I was away at the
I will.
beginning of December, and then we did it
Yeah,
a little before Christmas, and that one
I
will be
will
the
just
one that
point out.
has first one that has new content, new stuff in it for sure.
Yeah, we've been beta testing or alpha testing, beta testing FHM10 since August,
Yeah,
Jeff.
beginning of August, I think.
Yeah, so
Well, I
we've
think
been spending a lot of time, and yeah,
I
so
was
I
looking at it
mean,
before that, but it was we had working versions earlier in the summer, but
yeah.
yeah.
So
So
it's been a long progress to get here. So
I think we don't really have a set plan for tonight. I'm not going to start a new game at this point because well, you guys saw what happened last year with the college stream. There was a few. The database still had some issues at that point, and it showed up as we went farther into the game. I kind of dominated the last few years because the AI wasn't really getting the players it can get now. Uh,
okay, so just a couple of things from chat while you're loading something up.
yep, go ahead.
Um, AJ Dulo says standard game should be working good then right now.
Let me think. Anything? Yeah,
I think
it's.
yeah,
I don't.
it should be.
There's nothing really super deadly in the standard game at the moment. For the thing with the player roles in the prospects tournament, that one Penguins guy with the which you could manually edit that back if you wanted to. Uh, and other than that, don't think so. The bigger I mean, I updated a few guys on the NHL list the other day. A few of the
Yeah.
NHL players that needed some changes based on this season's performance. Did that, and
Um,
that'll be in the hot fix. But other than that, yeah, standard game should work fine.
yeah, there's a few things that came over that still need to be that again, as Jeff mentioned, still working for database stuff with some player rights that are still on teams who don't
Oh yeah,
have the
there's a
right.
yeah, that's right. The in the major junior leagues, the first year, there's when I when we moved players to their new teams this year, ones that got traded in the off season for some reason, a lot of their team rights didn't get updated, so they got the wrong player rights.
Yeah, and there's some NHL guys who I
Strength of
know.
their team.
We're talking about who don't have their rights, college guys or whatnot.
Was there? I don't remember that.
I told you Jared Moe is on the Jets listed.
Oh, that was no. I fixed that long, long ago.
Well, he was still on there in the last build.
Was he? Oh, I gotta check that. I
Yeah.
guess. No, I changed it.
And then AJ Deulis is saying like Lockhart shouldn't be have Vancouver rates right now.
Okay, I'll go have a look at That's probably going to be the first update then instead of the hotfix though, because I got the data in. Anyhow, I was just going through a few test games. This is a 1909 start, and it's up to 82. And I wanted to show this to Adam because look at this. See how bad were the Jets at this point in real life?
82, they were not good. I mean, the NHL had stripped them. This is what, year 3 of them in the league?
Yeah, but in this case, they're in the playoffs, and I think you can see the obvious point of interest there to you.
You mean your favorite player?
That's the one.
Mike Bullard,
Yeah,
obviously.
legendary talk show host. But yeah, Miss, how did Messier wind up? And okay, so he did his historical thing where he went to Cincinnati after as a 17-year-old, and then signed with Winnipeg. I'm guessing signed with Winnipeg. Uh, Signed with the
Yep.
Stingers. Yeah, signed by
Should,
Winnipeg as a free
should
agent when Cincinnati went under. They signed him the first week after merging to the NHL.
yep. Or
So
were we talking about Adam Oates coming out of college joining the Jets too? That's also good.
yeah, oh, I think that 16-year-old start. I gotta probably bump his development rate back a little bit more because he didn't.
Ooh.
He was a free
And
agent in
Bobby
mid
Carpenter.
'85. Yeah, they got Bobby Carpenter. I'm assuming that's
Pretty good looking team.
second rounder. But yeah, played his
Right.
first year, sent him straight from the high school to the. Oh yeah, Tulsa was
Yeah.
still in the eye at that point.
Just going back here again because I
Oh,
know
no, that would have been Central
Brit-
League.
I'm just bouncing back. Cafu, or sorry, Cafu, Cafu said, "I'm new to the game. Should I start a career? What should I start a career, and what are some tips you could give me? Number one, start in the NHL. Pick a team in the NHL.
Probably pick a good
Whether you
team in the
play
NHL. That's
well, start in the NHL because sometimes we see people try a journeyman save and then they get into leagues that they are not really familiar with. And while that's okay, it's a really tough way to start.
yep.
So starting in the NHL is a really good thing. It lets you get used to a lot of the game mechanics. Maybe you know the players. If you play historical, you can sim really fast. Um, I see you have our nice face gen bug popping up there.
No, that's not. That's when I. This is an old save, and it was in the first version of it. It's fine. Like if I take a new, that's. Oh, I look at somebody that's actually in the league at the moment. It's from when I
All right.
previously loaded it.
Um, yeah, so that's a big one. Start in the NHL. If you again historical, you'll sim super fast, so that's not a bad spot to start if you have familiarity with the NHL at any point, even if you go back, say, 5 seasons. Um, yeah, don't be afraid to give your assistant manager, some control. And Jeff, do you want to show that on the screen here really quick?
Yeah,
Manager
on the
options.
manager options screen, you've got various team control settings. And you've also got an option you can switch everything to your assistant if you want to, or back to human.
Yeah.
But you can change them all individually. So if there's any aspect here you want to hold off on, if you maybe want to have the AI do all your scouting and your player training and just handle maybe the roster moves and the lineups for the game lineups, you can turn a few things off in here. And then a few of
And
these
there's
more convenience level stuff like your
yeah,
automatically
there's
renewing your staff contracts or managing player jersey numbers or your
there's absolutely
finances.
nothing wrong with letting the assistant do some stuff, especially to start, and you can slowly kind of learn the systems as you go. It's a great way to introduce yourself to the game. So those are kind of some of the key points. I think if you got more than that, by all means, please
Yeah.
ask.
Yep.
Um,
And the other thing in the save, Adam, that I wanted to point out, note the 79 Cup winners.
I thought you were going to say lease. That would be the St. Louis Blues or the Atlanta Flames.
No, not them. The Canucks actually get a cup in '79 this game, although it's
No,
kind of
no, no, that's Minnesota North Stars. You see, I see all their goaltenders are Minnesota North Stars.
yeah.
That makes sense.
The So in this game, the Canucks get this is completely everything's redrafted and starting from the very beginning. So the Canucks wound up getting Perreault and Dion in this, and Larry Robinson too. So
That worked out pretty well for them then.
yeah, the problem is they've still got those guys. It's only 82, and they somehow missed the playoffs this year. So Canucks being the Canucks there. I'm just gonna, as I'm pressed for time here, I'm also kind of want to check through some of the early historical years. You can see this is the you can see in historical, the Stanley Cup is a separate tournament up until 1926 because the PCHA and the NHA and the NHL are having play each other at the end of the season. So it's a two-league tournament at that point, and it won't show up in the regular NHL standings. But this is, I don't see the, there's a couple of PCHA NHA tournaments that aren't in this. I got to take a look at that. That's not quite right. So the Leafs get, Vancouver actually won twice as the Millionaires in this. That's good. And I'm assuming it didn't look all the way down, but the regular NHL history, hopefully that's.
Casual Assassin asks, am I able to play this on the Steam Deck?
There's a handful of people playing it, so some people are able to. I think I was looking at the stats the other night, and there's about 10 people a day who seem to be playing it on the Steam Deck. So some people are making it work. I don't know how great the experience is on it. When Steam evaluates that at some point during the year after a new release, and they gave us last year they said it wasn't supported. The previous year, which really wasn't any different. They said it was. I think they
Playable.
called it playable. Yeah, playable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that gives you kind of an idea of what approximate range it's in. And I just want to check. Do we have WHA working as it should here? Because it should have completed. Okay, yeah, looks like it worked fine. And yeah, a few familiar WHA names showing up. Rogers, Callaghan. Jets never won a WHA championship in this one.
That's crazy.
Oilers get a couple. The New York, New Jersey, San Diego team. Houston gets one.
Yeah, I guess
Ottawa gets Ottawa/Toronto/Birmingham get the first and the last ones.
I was going to point out too, back for something else for people new. While we are NHL licensed, NHL is the only official logos in the game, which is why you'll see.
Well, like this right here,
Yes.
the old Western Hockey League. This isn't the Junior League. This is the Pro League from the 20s. Previously, the Western Professional Hockey League and the Pacific Coast Hockey Association. And it looks like that is, yep.
Is that a new logo this year?
Yeah, I put that in. It's
Okay.
fun. Like the Old West type of font seemed to work for it. Ooh, those. Oh, that's with the Rover.
Did I not have one for that? I
Got
thought
to look at
I
that. The
created one for
goals
that.
per game totals look a little high for the early PCHA. I think I need to tone those down. I don't think we had one for that. I think you might have had one for the PCHA.
Well, we did, but
there wasn't one like post name change, which is what this is.
well, no, I know. I thought.
And let's see. Oh yeah, Joe Malone, instead of playing in the NHL in the early years, starts in the NHA with the Wanderers and then heads west of Vancouver and never leaves. Interesting. Frank Nyber, similar thing, Hall of Famer for the Senators in real life. Okay, starts out in Quebec, goes to Vancouver when they're rating players back and forth. Looks like he lost a whole season there at some point. Then when the Western League goes under, he comes back and has one good season in New York. Yeah, with the new Rangers team. And seems to decline quickly. That's interesting. And I just want to check one last thing in the history here. How did the NHA work? Okay, good. You got a champion each year. You know, starting goal
Okay,
totals are still higher
what
than
I
they
was
should
gonna
be.
what I was gonna say with what we had been talking about was words there, Adam. Words. Uh, logo mods. There's lots of mods up on the forum, and there's some starting to trickle their way onto the Steam Workshop, with more coming probably in the next little bit. Um, but yeah, so you can do things. And Jeff, I updated your favorite mod on our forums.
Oh God, you put the mascots thing up already.
I updated it now, so it has the Seattle Troll.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, so
So
now you
that
can have a
the
troll.
thing we're talking about, the Adam did a mod that replaces all the 2D icons in the 2D mode with their uh, team mascots, which don't look bad in some cases, but you know, if you want to play the Flyers and have Gritty skating around on the ice for you, you can use that. Okay, but it looks
Smelly
like
Wrestling Geek. I love the mascot mod. Thank you. I think every time I play, I laugh. And that there's historical ones in there too, Jeff, which is more important.
and the NHL. That's okay. That looks a little weird. It's updating the using the final franchise name. Thought we fixed that. That's actually Hamilton. No, that's Quebec. Or at least they won the championships as Quebec. Oh no, it's yeah, because it's a collective thing. That's going to be hard to do in that spot. But this is Ottawa and that's Quebec. They're using their final names in the NHL. The way the NHA works, uh, unlike the WHA where we transfer the teams over, the way the WHA merger happened in real life, it doesn't really work properly if we do that. Uh, but the NHA, since the teams were just pretty much moving directly over without any changes at all, the 1917. That's last year. In 1917, when you go from 1916, 17 to 17, 18, the Wanderers, Ottawa, and the Canadians will all move to the NHL with their whole roster. And if you're managing, you won't lose your job or anything like that. Quebec goes dormant for a season, then comes back, which results in them clawing back some of their players if the players become free agents when they go out of business or when they suspend operations at the beginning of 1917. So if you sign a Quebec, one of those free agents as one of the NHL teams in 1917, and then come 1918, the team comes back, they will get their player back from you. And then the blue shirts, that's the 228th Battalion with Adam's lovely logo there. And the blue shirts are the
That
Toronto
that
teams
took
that didn't move over.
that took a solid 8 hours of researching to find to make something that good.
What the T on the blue shirts or
No, no,
the
the 228th
yeah,
Battalion.
no, that actually came out looking pretty good. I think can't see it there, but
Yeah.
and we are still. I don't think we don't have the updated uniform. Well, not updated uniform, the historic uniform, the 228th yet, but I think we'll have that.
Yes, yes, we do.
We do.
You just did. Yeah, I sent you a link on that.
I get it.
We had it
I get
before.
that.
Yes, you did.
Okay, well,
I
I'll
sent
see
it
if we
to
can
you
get
on
that
our
into the
Slack channel.
hotfix. I think we can do that for the hotfix soon. Okay,
Yep.
ignore me. I missed it. That's what happens when
Yes.
you're in a rush at the end. Okay,
Yes.
so
No, just another question from Chad here. NY Exit says, "Can you do more than one team get promoted relegated?
no,
And
right
also,
now
can you
it's
use some
the
import
relegation
league
is kind of
systems?"
primitive. It's just a one team up, one team down at the moment. We want to try and expand that though, and that'll hopefully be something we can do in one of the updates this year. What was the second part of that?
He just want to know about import league settings. Lots of that stuff that is it in the main mode is hard coded in, as Jeff has talked about previously. And I'll just say, so people go, why can't you edit leagues in the standard mode? It's because of the hard code, because some stuff has to be protected. For instance, if you start messing around with
The best
adding more
example is
teams to leagues,
the split
it can
season.
yeah,
I
it can
mean,
change. or the Champions Hockey League. You can change. Um,
Leagues that
what
the
did I
big
just
problem is
say?
the leagues that have a split season where they have a first half and then the teams realign into groups for the second half. That has to be hard coded right now, and if you started editing stuff, it would break all kinds of things in there, and
Saw in the
similar things to that.
non non unsurprising move, but the Nottingham Panthers also removed themselves from this year's Challenge Cup.
I've got a few questions in the main chat. Do you want to read those off to me? I'm going to switch
Yeah.
to. I'm going to switch to
Snaps
one of
Gaming
my
official
long-term
says
test saves from the NHL, so we can see that a standard game for
Snaps.
about 10 years in, 12 years in.
All right. Snaps Gaming official says also wondering when are you going to add up minor junior teams in historical? If not, are you going to implement a feature where you can reassign 18 to 20-year-old draftees to
Yeah, and
property
I don't
league
like
slash
that
junior
either.
teams?
So the 18 to 20-year-old guys have to go into the minors right now, which isn't accurate for, well, in modern hockey and not for a lot of, well, last 40 years or so. Uh, it's I've been trying to figure out a way to do it. I thought I had one. It's a little complicated because in modern games, that's all sort of hard coded. The whole NHL CHL relationship, where the players have to be returned to a minor league team, so we can't really use the same system there. I've been trying to think of a little more elegant way around it for historical. The main problem is there can be a couple of different junior leagues, junior setups for historical games, and it's got to work for them both. Uh, I keep trying on it, but I don't have a definite time frame now. But I really don't like the way it is right now either.
No, it's again. I think Jeff mentioned this on one of our first streams, as we talked about when we decided whether it was going to be the NHA or there was the possibility of looking at minor
Yeah,
leagues
that's a little
coming
different.
in.
Some people were hoping to have the minor league system, minor leagues playable and historical. That's the main problem
Yeah,
there is just the huge amount of database work I'll need to do to get that working. So I'm kind of
yeah,
breaking that down into chunks and working at it a little bit each year. I got
yeah.
some more done on it this year, not as much as I would have liked, but was able to get in a big bunch of historical AHL players into the database last year. So keep going from there. I'll keep working on that. And what we may have to do, we came really close to including historical minors this year, but what it would have been is just a like enough last. I can't remember what exact date we had decided on,
The
but they were
11
only be active from a certain year on. Like it would be only the minor leagues of the last 10, 15 years. I don't know if would do
20,
that cutoff next time, but what we would do is have the sort of partially playable historical minors for I don't know the last 20 years, last 30 years, whatever, or playable AHL it would have to be, and start with that and then build backwards from there. And then the other big historical thing is getting the World Championships playable in Europe. So that's got to figure that out somehow. But I want to get the minor leagues in first because that will expand the number of North American players, so we don't get the weird thing when we add all the historical World Championships rosters of having so many Europeans in the NHL, particularly at earlier dates than they really appeared. So this is a test save up to 2035. I found a few problems in it, but just checking through it. Let's see. Okay, Vegas gets a couple of wins there. Oh, okay, something's clearly broken here. Both the Jets and the Leafs, and the Canadians and the Flames. Okay, so
not
we go
just the
from
Flames. The Flames won two
no the
cups,
Jets won too.
and Columbus somehow
25,
won. Yeah.
27, yeah.
Okay.
What was on that roster? Whoops, wrong.
I mean, with the amount of young guys they have, it's not
Okay,
impossible.
Fantilli, it's fairly similar team. Yeah, it's basically just their. Doesn't look like that great of a team. And they were only 38, 32, and we got a little bug there. That's overlapping. Got to fix that. probably the new font. Uh, so I think they had a lucky playoff. I'm guessing. What do we?
Now, sometimes you got to be lucky to be good.
Playoffs. There we go. So yeah, they come in as the number 3 seed in a division and upset Pittsburgh, upset Carolina, who previously upset New Jersey, and then yeah, even if they're upset winners all the way through, and they're getting playing against the product of other upsets. So Buffalo, Boston, New Jersey, and Pittsburgh, all the number 1 and 2 seeds go out in the first round, and that's how they get through to the final. And oh, geez, I just noticed that part. The Western half. That's not good. I
That's
don't even
being
want to know how that
careful.
ended. Canucks are the number 1 seed all the way through, and they lose in 7 games. Yeah, that figures.
I mean, that's pretty much the connects to a T. Um, AJ Duos just asking, he started his game and why Saginaw isn't hosting the World Juniors. He's doing a Saginaw run, but said it's in Windsor.
That's I have to check that. I might not have the right country set to host there. And we got probably within what 100 miles or so.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think
NY
that's probably just Canada being set as the host instead of when it should have been the U.S. I'll check that.
NY Exit also asks, I was wondering if I can do promo rig or promotion relegation in an NHL style team custom setting
You would have to set up the
for the
whole.
Memorial Cup, not the World Juniors. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, for the Memorial Cup. Okay. Yeah, that's is it randomizing that? No, I think we can preset that. I'll check on it, but I think we can do that. The lost my train of thought there. What was the other question? Oh, the promotion
Uh,
relegation.
yeah.
You would have to set up the NHL. You would have to set up a custom league as the NHL format, and then you could. Yeah, I think you could import the NHL teams into that. It would be a little awkward. You could do something like that. Again, we want to try and improve the promotion relegation thing and have a few more options on that, like multiple levels of it, and and maybe more than 1 team getting moved up and down. So it's just a starting point with the 2 leagues and one up and down system for now, and we'll try to get that add some more interesting things to that. McDavid ties Jagger in the point leaders, sir. Is he still? Oh, he's a McDavid the Flyer. Sure, the Oilers fans are thrilled to see that. He bails out
Their
in.
players will be happy.
Yeah, Nick, there you go. Wait 3 more years and you get McDavid.
Logic Aid says, do you think these extra options will be available in FHM 10 or is it a next year idea?
Hoping for this year. May
Yeah,
not be able to get all of them in, but that's I mean the improving the some of the new custom stuff and expanding that a little more is kind of high on my priority list right now for the updates and a few other things, but I don't want to really commit to anything yet. But that's the one I feel reasonably sure we'll try to get something added for. Uh, so what did I want to look at here? Everything in the NHL seems to be. We get a little goal totals creeping up, but not too bad. I got to look at the talent pool in those years. It's a little off attendance. I deliberately geared attendance down a bit, kind of worldwide, particularly in North America this year, just based on what we're seeing in the early season. So we see a bit of a decline here. Now it's still turning down. Maybe a little bit more than I intended. Have a look at that. What's Canadian college hockey doing? Oh, did I not? That's weird. The history didn't import for those. Got to go back and check that. Won't be a quick fix on that, but that should be there and isn't. UBC 3 wins, Toronto 3, nobody else more than 1. Oop. What went wrong there? U Sports history, and it's going to the World Champ. Okay, something is misconfigured there. Yeah, okay, the playoffs work normally there. It's just a history screen. It's doing something odd. Okay, that one's something to fix. Game lengths, schedule lengths are all okay. That confused the hell out of me when I was testing. I actually put in a bug report because I was looking at the conference screen, which shows the interconference or the intra-conference records only, and it was I think one of the history screens defaulted to that, and I was confused why the Ontario teams weren't playing as many as the Western teams. But they've got crossover games between the two conferences, which is why that adds, to their total. So that looks like it's functioning more or less okay. Just glance at the, ooh, got some older guys here, which isn't necessarily bad. That's this 28-year-old. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. He's gone to, I mean, you do sometimes get guys playing in Canadian hockey after a U.S. career, but they're going to grad school or something similar, but that's not right, and he shouldn't have been there for 3 years. At that age, he should have probably only had a 1-year career, 1 or 2 years. I'm assuming this guy will be. Okay, well, that's. Yeah, he's gone. He's played a little bit of minor pro after his college career, but it's not too bad because I mean the Canadian university players tend to be a much more diverse group than the U.S. ones. There's not really that set career path. Okay, this guy, yeah, plays in the NAHL, goes to college in Quebec for a year, and then transfers to UBC. That's fine. Actually, he probably walks on at UBC mid-season and probably, I guess, the spring semester. American, no, that's a little unusual, but I don't see a lot of Americans in the lineup, so. Oh, wait, did he walk on? If he walked on, that's wrong. No, just a regular move. That's a little odd. Have to check on that. So a few issues. Take another look. Yeah, all Canadians, 1 American. A little, yeah, more appropriate ages here, but okay, got to check on that thing with. Is this another former? Oh yeah, that's not right. Something's definitely gone wrong here. He's had spent 3 years at the University of Moncton and then now 3 more at Carleton. Shouldn't happen. Okay, got some things to check there for university hockey.
You think everybody gets done in 4 years, Jeff?
Yeah, it was 6 or
Or
if
3
you.
years?
Yeah, I mean, I was 6 years in upper education, and well, if you count from when I went into UVic to the time I graduated from Rollins, that's 7 years. No, 88 to 90, 97. No, God, no, 9 years.
Well, I'm less than that, but not by much.
Somebody partied a lot, eh?
Maybe.
Okay, so that's the couple of test games I wanted to check out. Well, we got about 15 minutes left here. Should mention here that we're streaming in 3 different places on a couple of different Twitch channels as well as on Steam. So if you see if you're Adam and I responding to questions that you don't see in the chat, they're coming from one of the other ones. How many people, can you see how many people we've got on Steam? I'm just curious.
Steam, there's currently 51 people.
Oh, wow. Okay, quite a few. Welcome everybody that's watching on there.
Yeah.
And let's just show some of the new custom stuff for people that haven't seen it yet. And so we were talking about the promotion relegation things. I'll just quickly set up one here. Make it on the small size. Actually, I can do that. What was just asked. Can't directly import the NHL, but what I can do is set up the use the real players. I think that will give me NHL. Should give me NHL players with the 2023 start. 32 and 4, the NHL format, more or less. And with an initial draft, it'll do a fantasy draft at the start. And I'm not going to go through the whole mess of changing team names here, but yeah, the divisions don't make a lot of geographical sense. San Francisco, Brampton, Los Angeles, Austin, New York. Oh, Surrey, there we go. So a mix of the West
Of
Coast
course.
and East Coast. The chances of teams getting included in fictional mode are based on their population. So looks a little weird, but we'll just go with that.
It is
And
good.
I'll leave the All-Star game up for now. And the playoffs. Should point out, I don't think this was something that was really a lot of people realized. I will set this to current system. One thing, when you use a preset type, the settings for round lengths will still apply to it. That's why we changed them to. They were used to be all best of 3. Now it's best of 7 because I think a lot of people are getting those overwritten. But these do override whatever the round lengths are in your type. So it's just something useful to know. And see there. So that's the promotion league. Now what I can do is add the relegation league and basically do the same setup. And you see it's defaulted down to something that's a little high for a minor league. So I'm going to bump that down to a 0.8 reputation. That's going to give us something in the ballpark of the AHL. Can't remember how that's going to work with the real players in the initial draft, but I'll just run it and see. So we'll just call it the American Hockey League for lack of a better name. I didn't make the other one the NHL, but you get the idea. And I'll give it the NHL system. And I think we've got, should have enough time to run through a very quick sim season in this, and you can see what happens at the end of it. No challenge mode, start unemployed. I'm just taking all the defaults here because all I'm going to do is sim in this. So there's our main league. Teams will be empty at this point. I'm going to set do not disturb and commissioner mode on. I'll run it 1 week forward and it should do the draft. See, the initial draft is scheduled for today on the starting day. And turn all of those down. And yeah, they're now, okay, there we go. There's the teams and they've got the real players on them. Tucson winds up Draisaitl and Eichel, Grot, pretty good. Yeah, Parayko and Saros, yeah, that's not a bad team. They should do reasonably well. And, oh, did I not set up the... Oh, no, that's right. The affiliations won't work because it's a linked league, because it's a promotion relegation. So everybody will be using reserve list instead of minor league teams for both levels. So I'm just going to run that through to the end of the season. And it'll go fairly fast because there's only these 2 leagues here. This is the exhibition season here. That'll go away in a couple of seconds, and we'll start the real season. And yeah, there we go. Okay, everything is functioning normally. And seeing a few familiar names at the top of the scoring lead. No McDavid. I wonder where he wound up. Draisaitl's up, well, was at the top briefly. Oh, and there we go. McDavid's in the goal scoring lead, just doesn't have a lot of assists. And you can see this runs very quickly because there's only 2 teams and not that many players for the game to track, so it goes a lot faster than a normal standard game would. As you know, you're not tracking literally tens of thousands of minor league and junior players that the full-blown game would. This one, there's just the 700 odd NHL teams, and then another 700 or so in the league before that, and then some game generated prospects for the upcoming draft as well. But it's a much more manageable thing for the AI. Jack Campbell, second league in goals against average. You see, he cleared waivers today. They sent him down.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
If I hadn't sent the data in already, I would adjust him a little bit. But yeah, somebody's got to take the blame for Edmonton. It's funny. I had really no hope for the Canucks going into this season. So naturally, this is a time they start finally playing well.
Yes, that's typically how that works.
Of course, now that I've said that, watch them crash and burn, but it's been fun watching them so far. Okay, so Panarin, McDavid is coming on strong there, is pushing Panarin for the scoring league. Doesn't quite get it at the end. Might have had the goal totals. Probably should have checked what those are defaulting to in a custom league. Seems a little low. But okay, there's our pseudo NHL. I mean, if I wanted to, I could have gone through and changed all the names to match the real NHL. But at the end of the season, the winning team is the Brooklyn Mohawks, who they got. Led by Panarin, so he didn't move far. Panarin, Zabiniad, Rust, Casey Middlestat, Barbashev. Ekman Larson. Didn't drag him down for some reason. And then Blackwood and Stolarz in goal. So Blackwood goes from mess in San Jose to winning a championship here. And then you've got the other league we added, the Pseudo American League. Yeah. So who wins there? That is Riverside. Former potential home of the Raiders. So they win, and that should, if I look at the league standings, the dead last team is Denver. So if I advance a day here, we should see Denver in the AHL and Riverside up in the Hockey League, which is effectively the NHL.
NYX, it says promotion relegation does not have a draft, correct?
No, it's intended to work more like the
European
like a
system.
European league. So at the moment, no draft. May try to figure out a way around that. It's kind of part of the main issue is it's custom borrows heavily from the out of the park system, which requires junior drafting leagues to be like leagues that feed into a draft to be connected. And it's kind of a mess. I've been trying to talk the guys out of doing it that way, and I had a whole system written up this year, but it would have been too much. Would have taken too long to implement. So I'm hoping I can maybe get it in next year, and we'll be able to get things like drafts and more North American type promotion relegation leagues in. So let's see. Is
More.
Riverside? Okay, so yeah, the Riverside has moved up. With they're going to have a tough time this year. And I think those are fictional guys that have been included on that team. Riverside has moved up, and down in the AHL, who did we say was going down? It wasn't Brooklyn, it was Denver. Who's got a decent lineup, but it looks like I just noticed their team harmony. Yeah, they don't like each other. Disruptive hostility and a bunch of conflicts. So, not that. Let's just see how they those two promoted and relegated teams work out over the course of the season. I'll just let that run. If we got any other questions, anything on Steam or the FHM channel?
No, Steam's been pretty quiet. FHM channel, there was just one question saying, "Do you think the Oilers take the next route and fire the GM coach?"
At some point, it's going to be tempting for them. And I mean,
I don't know what's wrong with Edmonton. That's the biggest thing. Like,
it's always something. It's just never the same thing.
yeah, Because I mean, what's different between this team this year and the team last year? And the answer is
And
I don't know.
how can you be bad with arguably the two best players in the league on your team, other than
Well,
terrible goaltending?
who did they lose? Excuse me. Who did they lose in free agency? Like, I'm honestly trying to think who's not on that team who was on that. Like, okay, they let a couple of like bottom six guys goes.
It shouldn't have been. I
Like,
mean, maybe Kane's dragging them down.
well, it's it's definitely not helping from some of the stuff
Yeah,
coming out. I mean, can't. But you have to remember too. I mean, Connor McDavid was a guy who Glad said he wanted him on the team. So
yeah, your call. And you can see this in this game. The demoted Denver team is just running wild over the rest of the league.
four losses. Yeah. Wow.
Flip it when we get up to 80 games. They seem likely to be going back up this year. So
A lot of defensive
I think it'll probably take a
goalie play.
few years through a custom game to get the teams that begin in the top level league down to the level of the lower one. One thing I should mention for custom, I think it was in the notes, but I didn't haven't really talked about it. We really toned down the uh, starting potential for junior leagues and custom games. That was apparently quite a bit too high, and you were getting too many good prospects in the early drafts. So made a bunch of changes to that, and you won't get those first three, four, yeah, probably 3 or 4 draft classes that are much better than you get after that. So what happened in with the Riverside team? 27-43. They didn't finish in last place. They beat a couple of the established teams, so didn't embarrass themselves. And did make the playoffs. So did I want to look at who won the? Oh, so somebody took Denver to 7 games in the final, but Denver team gets promoted right back up. So that gives you a look at how custom leagues, how the promotion and relegation works in custom leagues. Anything else? Yeah, no draft and that's the initial draft from previous season. That
Yeah, I guess at the end here, Jeff, should we talk about what we're going to be streaming probably next week and the week after? Since we
I think
typically
I'm
do.
probably I want to time. We were talking about this before. I want to time mine for the start of my long term game after the first update. So might need to do one more week of something other than the longer game. May do a historical challenge or something like that. But what I want to do is sort of a history of the Canadians. Start out in 1909 in the NHA, and then just ideally play probably faster than we normally do. I'll probably won't be watching like going simming game by game. Probably do more like week by week or month by month, and try to play the whole history of Montreal out from 1909 to 1920 or 1909 to 2022, and see if I can beat the actual number of cups they got. And what were you looking at?
Uh, we talked about this multiple times, but I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and win another Stanley Cup for Sidney Crosby before he retires.
Right, the Penguins game.
Yes.
So possibly start that next week, or maybe you should. Yeah, maybe it might be an idea to wait until after that first update for you as well, and then we can try something shorter next week. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. We'll figure out something. But that would be an interesting game just to see if. I mean, Penguins have started okay this year, haven't they?
No, they're not doing great.
I know Malkin was just doing better than expected. Oh no,
I
five
mean,
and
is Rit
six. Yeah,
Flyers
they're
still in the chat? If Rit Flyers is still in the chat, we should make fun of him right now for the Flyers losing to San Jose.
yeah. It's okay. Yeah, the big guys are doing okay. It's just what is it? The goaltending this year. Yeah, goaltending numbers don't look too bad. Carlson, I mean, hasn't had the big impact that. Well, I mean, I think everyone kind of assumed last year was a one-off for him.
Shark Boy in the chat says we have to win sometimes.
Or you just do the standard Penguins thing and be terrible for 1 year and get the first pick overall, and get your franchise player for the next 20 years again. So you can play like one season with Crosby and the new guy, like Crosby took over from Lemieux. Okay, anything else we need to cover? I can't think of anything. Like I said, the update will we'll do the hotfix with a few smaller, or I mean, fix the most important stuff we can. Hopefully, sometime on Friday. Might be earlier on Friday if we run into any sort of testing trouble. Could get pushed back a little, conceivably until Monday. But I'm really hoping we can get it out this week. Then a couple of weeks after that, we will have a bigger update. Uh, Let me get to some data things and do some fixes we wouldn't be able to do in such a short period this week. But as of right now, I think it's the game is the bug reports haven't really turned up anything entirely fatal. Those import crashes, and there's a new one today with not being able to watch your own prospect tournaments games, which isn't good. And I don't think we're going to have that fixed for the hot fix, but hopefully we've got some way of working around that for the first update. And then a few other things that sort of not really game breaking. Don't really want to keep them in, but it's been fairly stable. I mean, every year we go through this, we get more and more of the ugly bugs out, and gets pretty much more stable with every release version. I think this has been pretty definitely the most stable release we've ever had this week. Now, watch something terrible will turn up overnight and make me completely wrong, but no, I'm pretty pleased with the way this has gone so far. So other than that, and yeah, we'll be back next week, Adam with Adam's game, whichever one it is, and me the week after, and probably start the Canadians game. Let's see, 15th, 22nd. Yeah, maybe the 29th. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to take a vacation like I normally do in early December. May have a little too much to do before then, so I may push that back to the new year. So, but I think we'll probably start that. Very likely we'll start the Montreal thing on the 29th. So hopefully we'll see everybody out then. Anything else to add, Adam?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay, well, I think we can sign up from there. Obviously, if anybody's got, well, no, I'm stepping on your thing here. You and I, you can talk
You
about
want
the
me to do
forums and
the
whatnot.
exit
Yeah,
as we... All right, with that, thank you very much for
yeah.
tuning in to another Franchise Hockey Manager stream. We typically stream every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/franchise hockey manager, as well as twitch.tv/OOTP developments. All of our streams are archived on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/OOTP developments as well, with archives typically going live Sundays at about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/franchise hockey manager. On Twitter, we're at franchise hockey. You can find a link to our official Discord and our Twitter bio as well. And of course, come on down to our official website, which is ootpdevelopments.com. Click on the community button in the top right hand corner, which will bring you to the official forums. You can come talk about Franchise Hockey Manager 10, Franchise Hockey Manager 9, North Park Baseball, Perfect Team Go, or anything else you wish to discuss. Just because we haven't mentioned it, FHM 10 is now released. There is a 10% launch week discount. So if you're watching this too late, you might miss it.
You've got until next early Tuesday morning. So probably do it by next Monday night if you're going to buy it and still want to get the discount. But yeah, like Adam said, if you've got any questions about the game or find any bugs, anything like that, please post them on our forums or the Steam forum, Reddit, anywhere in there. I'm checking those, and Adam's looking in a couple other places as well. So we will get to anything that gets reported as quickly as possible. I sort of finally got some sleep this afternoon, so when I got up, managed to get through the few of the forum posts, but I still have to take a couple look in a couple of places. So you've posted something there. Probably respond to you tonight. But yeah, everything seems to be running reasonably well so far. So hopefully this continues, and we'll get your first the hotfix update out on Friday. and then a bigger one after that, and then some new features sometime in December. So thanks for coming out, and we will see you back here next week.